think Steve is already down there. He must be. Otherwise, he'd be running us over right now. There he is. There he is. There he is. It's hard to beat Steve to the door. He was already here waiting for us. Good put on the leashes. 63 degrees, not as cold. 63. It's a little warmer than they said it was going to be, isn't it? That's the water temperature. What a coincidence. When the wind comes in off the ocean and the air temperature is the same as the ocean temperature. Should have known that. Although if it starts raining again and we get the fog come back, I think that will lower the temperature to near the dew point, which is about 59 or 60. All right, fascinating. Let's just start with reality. Here is the satellite imagery of the Northeast, New England. Is that clear sky, that line, that dark line from Nova Scotia to New Jersey, or is that a shadow from higher clouds causing the black line over Nantucket? Is it clear on Nantucket? That's the question mark. The punchline is, let's go to the cam, and no, it is not clear over Nantucket. Oh boy, I dug myself into a hole on that one. Anyhow, the Dreamland cam shows Nantucket wet, low clouds, drizzle, fog. Let's go to the observation list here. Nantucket, 59 degrees, dew point 59 degrees, relative humidity 100%, wind out of the east at 18, gusting to 31 miles per hour, and the barometer 30.10. That's high and rising. We have a rising barometer. This is called a high barometer nor'easter. It has to do with the south side of these cool high pressure systems coming in this time of year and causing an onshore flow from New England all the way down to Florida and the Bahamas. And on the south side of these things, you can get tropical systems to spin up, and that's exactly what happened. The tropical air was thrust northward in our direction, ran into the cold, and that caused the moisture to wring out, and heavy wind and rain from the northeast has been here now. This is day 2 of this, what I'll call high barometer nor'easter. And what about the rainfall? What's if this was winter? You would have saw snowfall maps with higher elevations in southern New England getting 2 to 4 inches of snow or maybe more, while we remain dry in Vermont, New Hampshire. Well, guess what? If this were winter, Wachusett would have got less than an inch of snow, and Sunapee would have got 2 to 3 inches of snow. There it is on the radar detected precipitation amounts. Same thing in western Massachusetts. Mount Tom would have got less than an inch, while Mount Snow would have got 3 or 4 inches. How does this happen? It happens so often. I've been so frustrated with this over the years. I came up with what I call the lean cold rule. Whenever you see a system that shows the heaviest precipitation from a low going south of New England, it shows the heaviest precipitation from Connecticut to Cape Cod. Oftentimes it ends up being much farther north because cold air does not hold as much moisture as vapor than as warm air does. So in the warm air, you can absorb more water vapor without having as much precipitation, while when you're colder to the north, that same amount of moisture comes in and wrings out more rainfall or snowfall. Anyhow, I don't know how good a job I did with that. It's called the lean cold rule, and it applied, and it may apply again today. This morning, we're in a bit of a lull between a band of rain that went way further north than expected from northern Vermont to west central Maine, and then there's a lull, and then there's more rain coming in along the south coast this morning. Now, we go to the excessive rainfall potential map here, and the yellow indicates there is the possibility for some localized flooding from New York City to about Providence, but we don't apply the lean cold rule, though. And if you do that, you get that heavier rain to come up along the Massachusetts Turnpike and into Boston. A lot of questions about the weather today and tomorrow. Well, I don't think it's going to change very much today or tomorrow. The big question is, as a new high-pressure system replaces the old high-pressure system, that is, the one that was in the Gulf of Maine is moving out, and there's a new one moving in, will that bring drier air from southeastern Canada in on Tuesday? And most of the guidance is saying yes. Here is the Euro with the Tuesday returning us to sunshine, but look at the wind. It's still from the northeast at 15 to 25, and I think that's going to keep the low clouds coming from Boston to Cape Cod on Tuesday. So I think Wednesday and Thursday, the best bet for getting into some drier air from southeastern Canada. Now, it's still a very contorted map here. Let's go to the 500 millibar. The old upper level low associated with Ophelia kind of lingers and then pulls out to the south and the east, and then the bottleneck in the atmosphere, this tremendous severe weather outbreak in the middle of the nation, that upper low is going to weaken, but it's going to kind of come underneath the Canadian ridge, and it's going to be south of New England again by next weekend. That could keep us in this sort of gray onshore flow pattern, even as in the middle of the nation, it looks like that ridge could generate warm to record warm, possibly the hottest October 1st, next Sunday, ever in our life. Everything that happens once in our lifetime is the hottest or coldest ever. Huh, Steve? It's interesting. These two pumpkins I did grow. I'm going to put them out front. And this is the side of the pumpkin that lays on the ground. No one ever shows that side of the pumpkin. I'm just going to show this side. And remember that little mark a chipmunk or something made in it a long time ago? That healed nicely. Are you enjoying this breezy, chilly morning, Steve? Going to your position at the bird feeder. T-Rex, what do you think? The color of the water is usually a reflection of the color of the sky. Gray water, gray sky, but not too much in the way of whitecaps right now. So the wind is going to be just sort of 15 to 20 today. That wind on Nantucket, if you look at Nantucket Sound, go back to that. Nantucket Sound sustained in the 20s, gusting past 30 knots. So the ferry service, the high-speed ferries, are not running from Cape Cod to the islands today. As for our rainfall, let's go check the rainfall. I'll show you some Coco Raz, which I have not looked at yet, with the rainfall across southern New England. It looks like it was an underachiever for many. And here, so far, our rain that started yesterday about noon, 0.33 inches. So this would have been rain here at my house, even if it was winter. So that wouldn't have been 3 inches of snow. But inland, you would have forecast several inches of snow and got very little. So we begin the frustrating part of figuring that out. And yeah, I'm leaving a lot of these tomatoes. The top of the plant is actually right here. Where's the top of the plant? I'm leaving them because they're pretty. If this was a taller stake, that's really the top of the plant. So those are really the oldest tomatoes up there. And one of the reasons I'm not harvesting them all, because I love looking at them in these videos, especially with this new camera. So again, that would be the top of the plant. So those are the newest tomatoes right there. Most of my big tomatoes suffered in that heat wave. Speaking of the temperature, let's check it out down here. What do you say? Oh, that's interesting. So we got 59 degrees right here, and that was kind of what the forecast was. And all these tomatoes right here, these just grew from seed. All right, so the forecast is for today is day 2 of this high barometer nor'easter. Tomorrow's going to be day 3, not much change. Tuesday, we may get some sunshine. We're going to have the middle of the week off. We may have a beautiful Wednesday and Thursday, and you know what that means about next weekend. Check this out. The forecast for next weekend, the south and west side of this next high pressure system coming into the northeast is going to generate another storm. This is very similar how Ophelia formed. Yesterday we said, wow, that's overly optimistic for next weekend. That had been a change since we looked at the guidance back on Thursday and Friday, and now it's back to a storm just east of New Jersey. And look at the precipitation totals possible for us today, tomorrow. Wait, take a break from the precipitation. Check out this ferry going by. Hi, who's captaining? Is that Sydney Gal out there? So I got friends on Twitter that I don't know who they are, but they drive these ships back and forth. Say hello. Give me a DM. Send me a picture of me taking your picture. All right, back to the precipitation totals. Potential for next weekend, 11.47 possible when you add up today, tomorrow, and next weekend on the coast of New Jersey, and that's precariously close to New England. So next weekend is not a done deal at all. If we use our rule of beautiful Wednesday, watch out for the weekend, next weekend's not great. And there are so many events next weekend. We're going to a wedding. Joe's having a party. Jeff Eldridge is having a party. This is the high season for weddings and outdoor events. Pumpkin chucking next weekend at Stowe. Can't make it. I would love to. Again, I think the farther north you go, the better off you're going to be, but that's not working out so much this morning, is it? All right, this was a long one. Not much from yesterday. A few boats going by. And Steve, I tried to get some slow-mo of Steve playing with the string. It's tedious editing, but I'll try and put in one of the best shots from that. All right, I'm on 0.5 zoom. That's interesting. 5 zoom, 1.2, 2, 2.8, 3.6, 4.9. Playing with my new camera. And the max is 8.4, 9 times zoom. That's the max, 9 times zoom. Okay, past 9 minutes and 22 seconds of you're out the door. Sorry about that confusion at the beginning. Talk to you later. Oh yeah, editing the Bastardi video, that's taking a lot longer than I wanted to, so I'm not sure when my edits are coming out today. I had a feeling Mitt snuck out. It's raining, Mitt. Try to escape? Sneak out? Now you want to go back in? Is that what you're saying? All right. You can go back in. Thanks for not running away. Mitt snuck out while we were making the recording. All right, hang tight. Be right back. I heard something. Sounded like a meow. Who is it? Oh. Oh yeah, right to the trough. Right. Not too much rain so far. Wind is from the northeast. Strong high pressure system going out into the Gulf of Maine. Today's weather really nothing to do with Tropical Storm Ophelia. Nice day for boating, huh? Look at him obliging the no wake zone. It was fun watching him steam in there. Did be a stalled warm front anyway. That tropical storm formed on a front, sort of the way Bob did a long time ago, 1991. Bob was further south and it was August. But for the little bit of time Ophelia had, it was pretty close to a Category 1. Now the remnant Ophelia is going to be the challenge over the next 2 days. Just coming out here at 3:30 for a little and more from now that it's Sunday and I'm shooting it on a Saturday. That makes it yesterday, today, right? Right. It's pretty much pouring now. Not a lot of shelter on that boat. Now they're headed into the wind. Sure, why not? Fishing's good, I hear. Actually warmer than I thought. 62 degrees at 5:30 in the evening. T-Rex is upstairs because there's Chinese food upstairs, but Steve has just been looking out and wanting to go out. Interesting. Not doing it, huh? Proving me wrong. Let's see. He always likes to go out. He's thinking about running across the lawn. It's like, I don't know. Maybe not. Well, while I'm out here, why don't we just go check the rain gauge? It started raining about noon, fairly light, and then it picked up a little faster than I thought. We've had some intermittent downpours. All right, so we're going on just about 0.23. So a little less than a quarter of an inch over about 4 to 5 hours. If this were snow, if this was winter, it'd be pretty close to snow. It would be passing about 2 inches of snow. It's a high barometer. Nor'Easter. Oh, he's just going in circles around that chair. Now you've done it. We're gonna have to come up with a better system for you, so you don't get tangled every time you come out. He's got a lot of energy. You can play with your leash. Can we do this some slow-mo entertainment? Cats are really fast. Let's see if we can do it in slow motion.